What's going on YouTube? It's Richie and we're back with another video. In the previous video, I spoke up quite heavily about down one. I also mentioned down forward two a little bit as well. But down one being the main point of discussion in the video. And in this video, we're going to talk about another move that I feel like keeps your pressure and momentum and can also mess with your opponent's timing and set up, offense on your behalf. So we're going to talk about Leo's up forward one. So up forward one is this move, which is +6 on hit, -1 on block, and is obviously a high attack with follow-ups like up forward 1-1, which is safe, and up forward 1-2, which is a wall splat if the opponent ducks on the follow-up attack or tries to move, as you can see. So on the second hit, as long as it hits, you will get a wall splat and then quite a lot of damage. It is -14. No one knows that it's -14. I may have just snitched, but it's fine. So yeah, a move like that exists. But the main thing I want to talk about is up forward one, because the existence of the follow-ups is what makes it so strong. So the opponent is going to freeze up basically, and they're not really going to know what to do. Some people will step after the up forward one, and then up forward 1-2 will just hit them, or up forward 1-2 will hit them as well. So both follow-ups can connect, in that kind of circumstance. But what I want to talk about mainly, so I've set up just a few little things. So here we got downward 2+3, up forward 1 into hell sweep as an example. Okay, so let me block the up forward one. As you see, the hell sweep reaches me, right? And that's even with me backdashing after getting hit by the low originally. So backdash, 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 hell sweep hits me, right? And this is just because up forward one leaves you closer to your opponent than, let's say, maybe a down forward one. Obviously it whiffed there, but like it's not very common that it will whiff, and people backdashing after up forward one, I don't know how realistic it is, but mostly I feel like people will try and step, and in that case you cannot sidestep Leo's hell sweep unless you're playing Lily, or I don't know if there's another character, but Lily being the main one that can obviously sidestep it. So yeah, something very cool to keep in mind. Obviously a jab will hit because by one frame the hell sweep won't crush, which is it's whatever really. Leo does have down for 2+3, but just look at all of the options that this covers. So can't sidewalk to any direction, basically can't backdash depending on the character that you're playing. So there's that as well. So this is a situation where on defense the opponent has to make the read to block the low, right? So yeah, this can be super duper strong. That's one situation I want to talk about, where upward one becomes really effective. Obviously you can't do a jab from after downward 2+3, so that's where doing a jab into hell sweep obviously isn't super effective. Let me just do a jab into hell sweep anyway and just kind of see the behavior of like how the situation leaves you, just quickly. So you block a jab, you backdash. Okay, so yeah, it's basically the same scenario as a jab really, but the difference is if I jab, the hell sweep will win. So that is the big difference there. But yeah, like I said, from crouch, up forward one will behave like a jab will. People won't really jab against up forward one, so you don't really have to worry about that at all really. Let's go into another option. So I've set up downward 2+3, up forward one, then downward 2+3 again, and obviously this is to deal with jab retaliation. I think you'll find people will jab in this scenario, and then obviously power crushes. Obviously a heat burst is fast enough to interrupt, but like quite a lot of power crushes will lose here, so something to think about. Obviously movement will win here, and that's obviously where your hell sweep comes in. Let's see what I've set up here. Downward 2+3, up forward 1, and then this is just movement now. So they retaliate with a linear button. So if they block the upward 1 and retaliate with a linear button, you could sidestep and then obviously get your whiff punish, right? So like even Leo's 1-2, just full whiff and then punish. So puts you in a, I guess it depends on the type of player that you are. If you like to use a lot of buttons, then obviously I'm showing you the situations where your buttons can be super effective. And then obviously if you like to move as well, it does create opportunities for you to, net a big reward. So yeah, it is pretty cool. Obviously, as you can see, like look at this. The step makes the forward 2 come out at 16 frames. So like just because of the active frames is the only reason that this is basically tracking, which is kind of bizarre. But yeah, there is instances in which you can sidestep forward 2 to the right as well. I'm trying to obviously I was put onto this move in Tekken 7 by a very great Leo player, Norwegian Leo player called Ueki. Sane player, has taught me so much about the game. So when he obviously told me about it, I was thinking like, oh, because obviously I'd find myself just doing normal situations like down for 2+3 while standing 3, and then it's like, yeah, I put myself in a scenario where I don't really know what my opponent's going to do defensively here. So you can very easily lose momentum because of that. You're putting yourself in unsure territory, unfamiliar territory, really. I wouldn't say unfamiliar, but just unsure. Like, you don't know what your opponent's going to go for. Like, let's say, for instance, I just, full send whilst in a 3-1-2 and then they duck and launch me. I've just lost all momentum. Or if I do whilst in a 3-1 only and then they 10-frame punish and then now they're being offensive against me, becomes a bit tricky. So yeah, like a move like up forward 1 after this, -1 on block, +6 on hit, like it just feels like a no-brainer. Like if the up forward 1 lands on hit, you've got something like down forward 4 that obviously sets up with scenarios. You're at distance where if they retaliate, you can like do a little backdash, try get a whiff punish. So it sets up cool scenarios. Any situation where you can kind of get your opponent to block down forward 4 or even hit down forward 4 is, quite an advantageous situation in my opinion. What you'll find is like, instead of going for like a while standing 3, a while standing 4 is obviously okay, not the best situation. -9 if you just do while standing 4, and then obviously punishable if you let it rip. It just feels like a no-brainer to go for a move like up forward 1. If you want like big reward and you want to go into like kind of mind game territory, you have up forward 2 and stuff like that. But like up forward 1 is just a move you can just do, and then depending on the type of player that you are, depending on what you feel gets you the most reward in a matchup or against a certain player, you can kind of just experiment with it and just see how it works for you. So that's what I think is the best part about being able to do this from crouch. So like you can do that QCF1, up forward 1, if your opponent kind of just sits back and hesitates, these are the type of things you can go for. And then I feel like up forward 1 is a weird move because I feel like even when it whiffs, the opponent doesn't really, like, because it kind of looks like a jab, they don't really try and go for a big punish, if that makes sense. Like, so I feel like you can get away with quite a lot for like just throwing this move out by itself. And then obviously you can threaten the follow-ups. Obviously in Tekken 7, Leo's up forward 1-1 was high and the counter hit launcher, so people used to duck it sometimes, but obviously in this game there's not really a reason to duck, so it's more so like your opponent freezing up when you go for it. That's a few situations. I do recommend obviously testing the waters with up forward 1 into maybe occasionally a down forward 2, but I do think up forward 1 into down forward 3 is super goated. I think up forward 1 into up forward 3 to be like low retaliation is good as well. And obviously a safe move, like just from time to time. I don't feel like you should do it all the time. Like I said, giving away your turn isn't what we're playing for, do you know what I mean? Like we want to get momentum started, keep pressure going. And honestly, annoying someone with stuff like this is probably going to make your down forward 2+3s into full crouch sweeps, that much more effective. Because your opponent's thinking about other things like, oh, I now have to block up forward 1 and then they might do another down forward 2+3. And like the mental stack is kind of crazy when you really think about it. And then it's like when your opponent really does respect you, you can start, diving into other territories like down forward 2+3 into running 3 and just things like that. Obviously people might heat burst, in which case you have, you have your full throw, you have your throw game, not full throw game, but you have generic throw, sorry, and you have up forward 1+2 throw, and then obviously you have 2+4 throw, where you can kind of like change the position on the map if you want to get a better advantage towards the wall in certain scenarios, because it kind of, turns the opponent with you and on break. So there's that, and then obviously up forward 1+2, switches sides. So yeah, there's a lot of different things you can kind of go for. I feel like when you get them to block up forward 1 as well, I feel like doing a generic throw is quite, it just makes sense really, because your opponent is locked behind mental frames, like literally locked behind mental frames. They are not going to be pressing against up forward 1 often, especially if you're the type of person that is just letting this go. And I mean, it's only -6. Like this is very, very good for a move that has, counter hit properly. Don't really get anything guaranteed, but like just the threat of it, and then obviously at the wall, is a wall splat. So Leo at the wall, I don't really need to speak about Leo at the wall. That is literally what the character thrives upon. In terms of your opponent freezing up, and obviously going back to the down 1 video, when your opponent is playing like kind of 2D and stuff like that, I feel like you get a lot more opportunities to land potentially, down back 2 hit confirm, and then also down 4. Like playing around with these 2 moves is super strong when your opponent isn't really focused on like trying to move too much. Yeah, obviously you know, utilizing more hell sweeps is good. When you have the lightning glare available as well, you know, you're getting extra damage for your hell sweep. So that might be something that you might want to mess about with a little bit and just kind of see if your opponent can adapt to that. I feel like I've covered a lot when it comes to up forward 1. I feel like this will open a lot of eyes in terms of, you know, how you might want to be offensive with the move. Think of it like this: on hit, 2-2 punish, like it's the same frame advantage, right? +6. So, you know, you can treat it as the same situation, you know, just down forward 4, and then like if they block, you know, and then they retaliate, down forward 2 whiff punish, or just any whiff punish, even a small whiff punish, 1-2, 2-1, another down forward 4, back dash, and then come back in and go for a crouch dash mix. Like, the options are endless, honestly. The options are endless. But that's been the video. I'm not going to bring gameplay today as I'm about to start streaming and stuff, so I might upload clips from the stream and stuff. But yeah, anyways, that's been the video. Up forward 1 is kind of goated for the reason that you can do it from crouch. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about the move. Let me know if it helps you in any way. I hope it does. I feel like this one will be well received, because I feel like it's something that hasn't really been spoken about. I haven't really spoken about it yet, and it was something that was pretty strong in Tekken 7. I do see some layers using it here and there, but I do feel like it can be utilized a lot more. But yeah, I've been uf1, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get back on the YouTube thing. I've said this so many times on my YouTube journey, but like for real now, I'm trying to lock in and, you know, come at you guys with some really good content. So yeah, I hope it's well received. I hope you guys enjoy it. And other than that, everyone, have a good day, take it easy, and peace.